could be the beginning of the end for the human race. For what men first thought were meteors or the often ridiculed flying saucers are in reality the flaming vanguard of the invasion from Mars.
Looks like they're going to come out of that gully pretty soon. We'll have to rush our defenses to be ready when they do.
The guards need plenty of reinforcements.
We'll get them. Lieutenant, look!
They slash across country like scythes, wiping out everything that's trying to get away from them.
That explains why communication is cut the moment their machines begin moving.
Montreal's blacked out. Nothing more's come through.
Same thing that happened on the Pacific coast. Anything from them yet?
No, Mr. Secretary, we've had nothing from San Francisco for over 5 hours.
The nations of the world mobilize their armed might, rushing to defend the Earth against the unknown weapons of the super race from the Red Planet. Is there nothing that can stop the Martian death machines?
Guns, tanks, bombs. They're like toys against them.
We know now that we can't beat their machines. We've got to beat them.
All over the world, human beings cower before the onslaught of these unearthly enemies, whom no one has ever seen. Panic that sweeps around the globe as the great masses of mankind flee blindly in a headlong stampede of hysteria.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to 31 Days of Monsters. I'm your host, Graham Nolan, and today we are on day 26. And this one is one of the all-time greats. This is The War of the Worlds, George Pal's production, directed by Byron Haskin in 1953. This film was way ahead of its time, special effects-wise. It's gorgeous color. Its story, it follows H.G. Wells' story relatively close. Interesting note was that, in the book and in subsequent editions, versions of the book, the Martian vehicles are tripods that walk across the landscape, shooting their death rays. And when they were making this film, they had, because the Army is going to be modern day, and the Army told them that modern day military would destroy those things today. So that's why they had to come up with the manta ray Cobra head spaceship with the force fields, because between the time it was written in 1895, something like that, in 1953, we had just gone through World War II. Mechanized warfare was, well on its way, and we had the atom bomb. So they had to adjust that. But I always found that interesting that, if those Martians landed today, they'd have been destroyed by our military. This has got a great cast. Gene Barry is in it. And a couple actors from my favorite movie, The Thing from Another World. Robert Cornthwaite is one of the scientists, and Paul Frees is one of the announcers. I think he's a radio announcer. And so I always love to see those guys in anything. This would be 2 years after The Thing from Another World, and in full color, obviously. The gal, I can't remember her name now, who plays the woman in this film. Oh, what's her name? Can't remember it now. One of you guys in the chat will know. You got it at your fingertips. I met her at a convention. She was doing a show in Michigan one time. And I went up to her. There was nobody around her. So I went up to her and tell her how much, I love this movie and everything. And she was probably in her 80s at that point, but she was very crusty. She's like, "Are you going to buy a picture?" type of thing. An autograph, that type of thing. So I've always had kind of like a thing about her now. whenever I see. Well, now that you know the story, you know why. I didn't keep her name on the tip of my tongue. But yeah, this is one of those top 5 1950s sci-fi classics. Day the Earth Stood Still, Thing from Another World, this, Forbidden Planet, Creature from the Black Lagoon. I probably list 10 that came out in that era that were really, really good versus some of the, schlocky stuff. And I still love these movies, but like It, the Terror from Beyond Space, or The Monster That Challenged the World, late 50s fare, pretty much drive-in stuff, but a lot of fun. This was quality. This was a quality piece. The H.G. Wells estate was so happy with what George Pal did, they offered him any other property that they had, and then George Pal chose one, and the next Wells film he made was 1960 or 61, The Time Machine. Another great film. Pal made 3 really great films between 1951 and 1961. He made When Worlds Collide, another great one. This one, War of the Worlds, and then The Time Machine. So yeah, I hope you guys watched it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This is clearly the best version. The Tom Cruise movies, Steven Spielberg one is not so great. But the one great thing in that one is at the end when he's been trying to reach his parents or something like that. And at the end, after the aliens are defeated, the parents walk out on their condo step or their house step, whatever it is. They're waving to him, and it's Gene Barry and the woman, Anne Robinson. Thank you, Anne Robinson. Play the parents. So I like when they do that. When the cast is still alive, they put them in remakes. So that was really cool. So this was a impromptu broadcast today. I thought maybe I would do it this afternoon, but I had time this morning. I figured, well, let's get it out of the way early in case everybody's well entrenched in NFL games today. I'll be at 1:00. So I thought I could get it out earlier. So let's see who is here to join us. Nicodemus Pigo. It's a tough one. 77. Cigar Gangster is here. He says, good afternoon. Apex 3200. Wants to know where the lieutenant was hiding in that trailer. Looks like he popped out of his ass. Wishful Thinking is here. He says, hail chat. Who also loves this movie. Thought it was a great pick. I don't think I've done The Time Machine yet. I got to look back and see if I've done that in the last 5 years. But that could be on the list for next year. It is said that Wells was an agent employing Project Mockingbird or something with his radio broadcast. Orson Welles. Yeah, there's a moment there where Paul Frees, you hear him over the radio talking, and he's doing a Orson Welles impression to harken back to the 1938 broadcast that, shocked America when Orson Welles and his Mercury players did War of the Worlds. JP Roca asks, what's good? And he calls this a classic movie. Pastmaster Dan says, hit the thumbs up button. Yes, do that. Yeah, I know. I didn't mention that on purpose. George Pal also produced the Doc Savage movie with Ron Ely. But that got away from him, I think. I think they started out to do that as a straight thing, but nobody had the confidence to do anything like that post-Batman, and so they camped it up. Because if you look at that first sequence, you take the goofy music out, and the sequence of Doc meeting his guys for the first time, and the sniper shot going through the window, and him pulling the bullet out. That's right out of the Pulp magazine, and his muscles tear the shirt, and then he goes off to the building that's in girders and gets the feathered serpent guy. that's all played straight. The lighting is very dramatic. It's really cool. And if you had a good soundtrack with that, I think that could really sell well. But then they started putting in goofy things like the guy in the crib rocking and sucking his thumb and, all that nonsense. It's too bad because Ron Ely looked great in the part. Leg Kick 1 is here. Hello, Leg Kick. Oh, yeah, I heard that June Lockhart passed away at 100 years old. She was a bit crusty at the San Diego Con in 2000. Oh, interesting. She'd have been, 75 then. Bassmaster Dan is bagging and boarding at the moment. That's a good way to spend a Saturday. It's gorgeous here today in Buffalo. It's sunny, 52? No, 47. feels warmer. We just took Pumpkin out for a walk and came back. Really nice. Black Ice is here. If I'm not mistaken, the New World of Worlds with Ice Cube may have taken the spot for the worst adaptation. Oh yeah. I put that on for about 5 minutes and then turned it off. It was absolute dog shit. The Time Machine with Rod Taylor from 1960 in Technicolor. Yeah, just like this one. I love that movie with Rod Taylor. I love Rod Taylor during this period. He was so great. He's a good virile leading man. You'd never know he's Australian from his accent. Pastmaster Dan, sign up for Graham Nolan Shinu 77. Yeah, do it, guys. We're launching Thursday. I don't know if I talked about this or not, but one of the new additions to Indiegogo is a financing option. So if you buy something and the creator can set the price, if you buy something that's expensive, you have the option to pay it off over time, which is really cool. If you want to get something that you don't have the money on hand, you can get it and pay it off in small increments. I think that's a brilliant idea, and I'm glad they added that. The FX were really cool. Yeah, I didn't know until I was searching for the video for the trailer today. There's a 4K remastered version, and when I was watching that clip on YouTube, it looks like they went back and they cleaned it up. Not only the color and all that kind of stuff and sharpening everything up, but I think they went in and removed all the wires that you could see so clearly in the when the spaceships are coming up out of the smoke and stuff like that. You could see like dozens of wires on these things, which is always took me out of it. But if you look at that 4K remaster trailer that's on there, it looks like they did that. I'm going to look into that because if that's the case, I got to buy that. I got to have that. Oh, and speaking of gotta haves, guys, I think it was last year I did Curse of the Demon, one of my favorites from the 1950s. It's a Jacques Tourneur film with Dana Andrews, and it has to do with demons and conjuring them up and all that kind of stuff. Fantastic movie. But the British version, the original version called Night of the Demon, is like 14 minutes longer. And I found a copy of that on Amazon. You can get this package. It has every version of it. It's got the 96-minute English version, Night of the Demon. It's got the 96-minute, both these are uncut, US version, Curse of the Demon. But then it also has the released versions, which were knocked down to 82 minutes, I believe. So, there are scenes in here that really, really change this movie in an even more positive way, because I love the American version. But now I can see Carswell's mother's real intent. We see more of Dana Andrews' character relationship with the girl, and there's the guy who's in the psych ward who had passed on one of the runes, the runic message, and we see Holden go to that guy's farm and meet with his family and show them the rune and see it come to life again, and that had been missing, and that was really cool too. So if you're a completist and you like that kind of stuff, it's a fantastic movie. If you watch Curse of the Demon, it's fantastic. But if you watch Night of the Demon, you won't want to go back. It's really, really cool. So that's my plug. It's on Amazon. It's $39 or something like that. 200 Watt Studios for a $2 super chat. Thank you. They removed the wires holding ships in the new 4Ks. Yes, that's the one. That's the one that I just saw. That's fantastic. Okay. All right. I'm buying that one. Definitely buying that one. Okay. All right. I think I got everybody in the chat here. All right. Tomorrow we have one that is not a classic. Got to cross off War of the Worlds here on my list. We have The Devil's Reign from 1975, starring William Shatner and Ernest Borgnine in A Tale of Satan Worshippers. It's an interesting film. I'm just an unabashed Shatner fan. I love to watch him in anything he's in because I really feel he gives it his all no matter what. Sometimes his all ain't good enough, or sometimes it's too much. But it's like a train wreck. You can't turn away. So I do like to watch anything that he's in, and Devil's Reign is one of them. And then Tuesday, that's Monday. Then Tuesday, we're going to have a special guest come in for King Kong versus Godzilla. So that'll be fun. So guys, enjoy your Sunday. And hopefully your team wins today, unless your team is Carolina. And we'll see you next time. Have a great weekend. See you tomorrow. Bye.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.